Hey everybody, welcome back. We are here in beautiful St. Augustine, Florida. We have spent the last few days eating through the city and we decided to make some good food today. I've got a really special treat for you and my beautiful wife. There's a fish market right over here, so we got some fresh local shrimp that we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna clean up, show you how to do that. So we're gonna make a nice mojo shrimp. Got this local seasoning here. It's kind of got a Cuban flair with some lime and lemon, some other great spices. We're also going to make a citrus salad, and we're also going to be real healthy today. So shrimp is real good for you. We're going to make some quinoa, like a quinoa pilaf for that as well. And as always, I'm going to make myself something else because this is not what I eat. But I'm excited to show you this. So let's get started with the quinoa. So for this quinoa, we're gonna treat this like a rice pilaf. So I'm gonna do some carrots and some onion here. And I'm gonna cut everything real small because quinoa is very small. And quinoa is a great product to use, especially if someone's on a diet or just trying to eat healthy. It is a superfood and it is amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead, that looks about right. I'm also gonna, since I have the red onion right here, I'm gonna slowly, very carefully do some very fine slices here for our citrus, since I'm already working on that onion. So I'll go ahead and put that in there. Take only the nicest pieces here. Okay, so that looks good. All right. And I'm going to be using olive oil today just to add another level of healthiness to it. I will warn though, olive oil does have a much lower smoke point, which means that it tends to burn a lot quicker. So something you have to be a little bit more cautious about, but it will work just as good as any other oil, just at a lower temperature. So we got the onion. That in there. Next we'll take some of our carrots, and I'm going to kind of cut these down a little bit because the quinoa is very small. I'll give you a quick peek here ahead of time, but it's very tiny, and so you want everything to be kind of tiny with it as well. And this is got different colored quinoas in it. The contrast is a lot nicer when you're eating, because remember, you always eat with your eyes first. And quinoa is really great. You could make a cold salad instead of pasta. It's really good. Or at the country club, we actually used to make a stir fry with it, with a bunch of different vegetables, garlic, ginger, things like that. And then actually we'd saute a little soy sauce, and actually we had a house teriyaki that we tossed it with. That was really good. And that's a really nice option instead of rice or rice, noodles, anything like that. So cut these thin. Alright, so we got our onions, got our carrots in there. Put a little bit of olive oil in there. Yeah, I'm gonna actually sweat these down. I don't want them sauteed. Also, I've got a little bit of garlic here. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get this sauteing off. Just right there. Alright, so I've got the vegetables here for the quinoa. I'm going to go ahead and get this lit. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and let that sweat down. And then we'll go ahead and add our quinoa and get that cooking. Alright, so we've got some Roma tomatoes here. Just starting to cut these up. I'm going to take just the outside edges without the internal soft seeds there. We'll use the rest in a salad later on. But for now, I just want all of these. And these will give a lot better texture when we do the actual shrimp. So I'm just going to small dice these as well. And while I'm doing this, I've got a good eye on my vegetables that are sweating. Make sure that they're not, the garlic isn't burning, because that'll turn everything bitter. So I've just got a good eye on that right now. Smells really nice. Once the carrots have softened up, go ahead, we'll add in the vegetable stock I got here. It's just a little bit of vegetable base and water. And then we'll add our quinoa. Alright, that's enough tomatoes. Go ahead and I'll put these in this container later. And we're going to throw this in right towards the very end with the shrimp, because I want a little bit of heat on them, but I don't really want to cook them. So now I've got my green onions. 3 should be enough. Go ahead, take off the ends, spin them around, keep the bottoms nice and even. And we're just going to find a common ground here, cut off the tips. Alright, the entire rest of this is all nice and usable. I do like to peel this end off a little bit, just to get some of the dirtiness out of there. I love green onions. They add a great freshness to a dish, and they're also very versatile. So this we're going to do a little bit different. We're going to take half, and we're going to use that in garnish, but I want this main stock right at this moment. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut it on a bias. So this is straight on. Actually, it'll be easier if I turn this way. It's a straight on like this, and I'm actually going to go ahead and turn my knife so that's an extreme bias here. That gives some contrast to the plate. You see, you get these nice, little bit longer, nice edges here. So that's enough. I might actually just use a little bit of these tops, save the rest for garnish, just to bolster it up a little bit. Yeah, that's good right there. So I'm gonna put these in with the tomatoes. Now we're gonna go check on the quinoa. Okay, so we have our vegetables here. Carrots are getting pretty soft now. Onions have cooked down, so have the garlic. So we're gonna go ahead. It's about a 2-to-1 ratio for quinoa. So I've got some water here. I've got the vegetable base. Go ahead and throw that in there. That's really just to give it another extra layer of flavor. The more flavor we can add, the better it'll taste. Alright, so that's in there. And this calls for about a cup. Alrighty. Let's get all the kids in the pool. There we go. Now we're going to bring this to a boil, and then once it comes to a boil, we are going to cover it and let it simmer about 15 minutes. They get these like little tails, and I'll show you those, and that's a good indication that it's done. So we'll go ahead and leave those alone. Alright, let's check on our quinoa. Alrighty, looks nice. Just gonna go ahead and fluff it a little bit. Look at that. Now if you can see here, I know it's a little bit hard to see, but there's like little itty bitty tails on here. And that's a good indication that it's done. Basically you just fluff it up just like you would rice. And then we're probably gonna have to take some salt and pepper to this as well. So next we're gonna start doing the citrus salad. And I'm gonna do a couple things here at the same time. I've got the red onion leftovers that I just cut a little bit earlier to give it that pizzazz. We've got one fresh Florida orange. We've got a pink grapefruit and a lime. Now we're gonna supreme those, and I'm gonna explain what those are here in a few minutes. But the first thing is I actually want to take some of the zest from the orange and the lime for when I do the actual shrimp. So this is a microplane, and what this is gonna do is help me get the zest off the skin of the citrus. And this is gonna add another great layer of flavor. And the main thing here for this is to not get this white part. The pith is what they call it, and that's real bitter. So you're just gonna kind of draw it along. I like doing it this way. Some people do it upside down, but I like doing it this way better because I can see what I'm doing better. And as long as you don't get that white part, see if I go down a little bit, see how it's starting to turn a bit white, that part's really bitter, and that's no good for nobody. So I'm gonna go ahead, do this, finish up this lime here. And you wanna do this beforehand, so that way when you actually go to supreme, which is we cut the segments out, it's a lot easier. So, good amount of zest off of one lime. And we're just gonna start with one so it's not too overpowering. So a little PSA, make sure you always wash your fruits and vegetables before you go ahead and start using them. I did ahead of time, of course. And so now we're gonna do the same thing that we've got with the lime. Start zesting it. And also the same concept. All citrus is pretty much the same in this regard, is, you know, you wanna get that top layer. And see, I got it kind of flat. The orange zest is gonna add a really nice sweetness to this. And that way, because you have a lot of tart and sour elements with your grapefruit, with the limes, and this is just gonna help open it up. So we got a decent amount right there. If we need more, we'll add more, but I think that's a good start. Don't want to overpower it because it's only about a half a pound to a pound of shrimp. So we're gonna put that aside for now, and I'm gonna show you how to supreme. Now I'm gonna start on this orange. It's a little bit bigger and a little bit easier to understand. So what I'm gonna do first is, I got a paring knife here. I'm gonna take the end off of each side. So you're left with a nice base. Next, I'm gonna take it, and I've got my blade at a curve, roughly 40 degrees here. And I'm just gonna follow the curvature of the orange, working in small sections. You wanna get off as much white as possible, but you don't wanna take all the fruit with it. This is a little bit more of an advanced technique for some people, but this is really nice technique. It's relatively simple. It just takes a lot of practice. I've done this hundreds and hundreds of times, and that's the only way to get better at it. Now these go really nice on salads. You'll really wow your friends if you did some fresh oranges like this, or you could candy them, of course. Okay, so we've got all this off. And as you see, we got these nice, zoom in here a little bit for you. Whoop. As you can see, we got these white lines here. And these white lines are your guidelines. Now this is the area you need to be careful so you don't cut yourself. So I've got my paring knife, and I'm gonna go just to the left or the right of one side. I'm going to the left for this one. And just go in, but you don't wanna go deep. If you can see on this side, my knife isn't all the way through. It's kind of stopping right there in the middle. Now I'm gonna go on the other side and do the exact opposite. And they're gonna meet in the middle. Whoop. They're gonna meet in the middle and create this beautiful piece that's got no white but it's going to go really good in a dish. And now you do that for every section of the orange. Kind of pop them out. I like to do it over a bowl because that way it captures all those juices. And then once the actual part of the, well, that one's being stubborn. You'll get those from time to time. Once you're done with the actual, the rest of the orange, the part that you didn't supreme, we're going to keep that because we're actually going to use that. We're going to squeeze it. There's some really good juice in there. And that's going to add to our base for our shrimp. Now I'm just going to use the lime juice and a little bit of the orange juice. The grapefruit juice is a little too strong in my opinion for something like this, and it'll be way too bitter. So, like I said, this just takes a little bit of time. It's a little slow going. But as long as you take your time and you just pay attention, you should not cut yourself whatsoever. Get that last little one. All right. Now see it's got this accordion look to it. That shows you did a very nice job with supreming. There's a lot of great juice in this, so we're going to hold on to this part. And as you can see, we got a nice little pile of oranges in there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a lime. Same concept, it's just a lot smaller. So it's going to take a little bit more finesse and a little bit careful of a hand. For this citrus salad, we're gonna toss it with some honey. I've got some white wine vinaigrette, just a dash, not a lot, just a little itty bitty bit, and then some fresh parsley, the red onion, of course, and it's just gonna be a really nice, bright little salad to go with the shrimp. So, same idea. This time though, I'm using more of the tip of my knife because they are so small. All right, so now we got that nice lime mixture in there as well. You can already see the differences in color. Next I'm gonna do the grapefruit. Alright, all nice and clean. The only difference with this one now is that it's a lot bigger. So we're going to do the same thing we did with the oranges and the lime, but we're just going to have to go deeper and take a little bit more care. So see how far that goes in there now? Get these nice big pieces. Alrighty, so there we go. We got the oranges, we got the grapefruit, and we got the limes. That little bit of lemon. So what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna chop up a little bit of parsley for this. I'm also going to add in just a little bit of red pepper and that honey. there is our citrus salad. So, the next thing that we need to do before we can go ahead and throw everything together is we need to clean the shrimp. Okay, so we've got our shrimp. These are locally caught shrimp, and these are, they just have the head off, so they still have the poop vein in there, they still have the shell on and the tail. Now for this, I'm gonna get rid of all of it. So what I'm gonna do, and this is just a little knife, this is kind of like a paring knife, but I like this specifically for doing shrimp because it's small, it's got a long tip, and you can really get it in that front part right here. So you don't wanna go all the way through, you just wanna kinda carry it like that. And then it should just pull straight off. Just like that. Check, see if anything's in the middle there. All right, so I am gonna rinse all these off afterwards just to make sure they're nice and clean. And just go ahead and throw these back in the bag. I'm taking the tail off because I don't want to have them, you know, the guest or whoever's gonna eat it, in this case my wife, to sit there and have to stop in the middle of their dinner and pull off a tail or accidentally eat one, because you never know. So it's a little baby one. Same thing though, just on a smaller scale. And I got, these are 20 to 25ers, which means that there's about roughly 20 shrimp per pound. These are a little bit smaller, but these were a nice price. And sometimes with the big shrimp, they're not super tender. So far these are pretty, oh, there's a vein. Whoop. She get all that ectoskeleton on. But see, there's a vein right there, and I just pull those right out, throw them to the side, keep going. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep doing all these shrimp. Okay, I've got the shrimp here. I've got the pan heated up. I'm just gonna throw a little bit of olive oil in here. Give that a toss. Next, they've got this local Mojo seasoning, and it's like a Cuban seasoning, but you know, it's got some orange zest, lime zest. They've got a sweet onion sugar on here, some lime frost salt. The seasoning company looked really good. It smells really nice and bright. So we're just gonna go ahead and toss it with the shrimp, you know, about there. You could put whatever you want on there. I just want to go ahead and just add a little bit more of this St. Augustine flair here. Just give it a little toss. I'm also going to throw a little bit of salt and pepper on there. Now, got this pan heating up here. Once this gets nice and hot, we're going to go ahead and start sauteing our shrimp off. Throw a little bit of olive oil. Remember that smoking point I talked about earlier? So we got to be real careful using olive oil. There you go. I can already smell it. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. It's already smoking a little bit. Oh yeah. Get that shrimp in there. All right. As you can see, they're already starting to get this nice pink color. So go ahead, do that. I'm gonna throw a little bit of butter in as well. If it'll come off, because butter is king. Now remember, with shrimp, it does not take very long. So we're gonna go ahead, toss this in there, get this cooking. We're gonna leave it alone for a minute here. I'm gonna take a little bit of red peppers I sliced up here just for a little bit more color, along with the zest. and a little bit of the juices from earlier, so they can start marinating in there. Because I want this to be a really bright, nice, fresh dish. This is going to be really healthy. Next, I'm going to take just a little bit of lemon juice. Okay. Alrighty. These are already looking good. Good way to tell if your shrimp are cooked is if you kind of look right in here. See how it's starting nice and white, and it's a little dark in there still. So that says that the outside is cooked, the middle is still cooking. All right, so just a couple minutes on this, probably another, maybe even just 2 minutes. Go ahead and throw another glob of butter in there. We're also going to throw our green onions and our tomatoes in now. Let's give it a nice toss. Probably could have done more shrimp to vegetable ratio, but it's supposed to be a really nice healthy dish, so that's perfectly fine. The butter I threw in there is going to help kind of pull that sauce together from the citrus. So probably 1 more minute. Got some of these little bit bigger ones. Just taste the sauce there a little bit, maybe just a little bit more salt. And actually, I'm just going to throw in just a little bit more of this Mojo seasoning here. Ah, that looks really good here. So, all right. Now I got a little bit of parsley here I had left over, so I tossed that in. Look at that. Now that, paid 15 bucks for that. So that looks really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that quinoa and we're gonna get plating. All right, there we have it. We've got our St. Augustine shrimp with a little bit of Mojo seasoning on there. We've got our citrus salad on top with our extremely healthy quinoa pilaf. This is a great meal, extremely healthy and very tasty. I'm glad to bring a little bit of St. Augustine to you. Hope you enjoy. Keep on cooking.